If you're anything like me, you struggle with procrastination. Hi, I'm Jason Geroux. I'm designated broker and owner here of 410 Real Estate, a multi-million-dollar producing brokerage here in Gilbert, Arizona, and a certified real estate coach. Today, we are going to be talking about time blocking. It's a problem for a lot of people when it comes to personal life or business life. So whether it applies to your personal or business calendar, I'm looking forward to talking with you about this. Before I do, though, happy to have you here watching the video, but if you're not part of the 410 family yet, we'd love for you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I'm going to make it difficult when we're editing here. No, right here, notification bell, so that you're made aware of when we are going to be posting these videos. We talk about real estate topics. We talk about some around town, introducing you to local businesses so you know what's coming and going. And then we're also incorporating some coaching, bettering ourselves from a business and personal standpoint. We'll post some of those contents as well here. So happy to have you here, and let's get talking. So one of my biggest struggles in business and in personal life, and my wife will tell you the same thing if you ask her, is creating enough margin in my calendar and in my life to allow for rest, to allow for time with family and friends, and to just make sure that I'm not stretched too thin or overcommitted. So really, there's a couple of things that it boils down to for me. First is you got to make sure you're not overcommitting yourself. I am a people pleaser. Those of you that know me know that. I try to make friends with everybody. I try to get along with everybody, and I don't like missing the mark in terms of hitting your expectations if you're either a friend, a family member, a colleague, or a client. So that really bothers me if I do that. So what I tend not to do is say no a lot. And so what that ends up doing is gets me overcommitted if I'm not careful. I'm in a season of my life right now where, honestly, I am a bit overcommitted. And that is not because any of the things I'm doing are bad, just because I'm doing a lot of things. Obviously running this business, coaching a kids basketball team at the church, working on my master's degree, and then serving in other capacities through the church and other places as well. So I have a lot on my plate, and if I didn't figure out time blocking, it could really be a big problem. And first of all, full disclaimer here, I haven't fully figured out time blocking, so I'm learning as much from what I'm saying here as I hope you are. But the second thing, I guess if you're making sure you're not overcommitted, it's okay to say no to good things in favor of the great things. You are only created with so much bandwidth, both mental and physical, and we're only living in a world with 24 hours a day. Of that, we're supposed to get 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep, and so you got to factor that in, and what are you going to do with the remaining 16 hours, 15, 16 hours of your day? You got to say yes to good or great things, no to good things sometimes to stay on track. Secondly, you really want to incorporate the use of a calendar, whether it be a book like this that has calendar pages in there. Some of you prefer that you can write in with a pen or pencil, and or it be a Google Calendar, or some people even incorporate things like Calendly so that people can make appointments with you and you're able to set aside your blocks of time that you're not available to meet with people or take on activities. Use a calendar, though, and block everything off. I don't care if it's sleep, morning routine, you get up, you spend time in devotion or prayer or anything like that you happen to do, block that off. If it's a dinner date with your spouse, block that off. If it's time with your kids or taking the kids to practice, block that off on your calendar. It sounds silly to have to calendar family time, and I know that can be a rub for some people that, we should just make time for our family. We shouldn't have to stick it on the calendar because it's so important. The reality is, as the busier you get, we tend to hear from people all the time, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. So how can we get things on our calendar that represent the things that are important to us? Block everything off. Block drive time off. That's my big thing, is sometimes I'll block off an appointment or a one-on-one meeting with another fellow chamber member, and I'll forget to block off a 30-minute drive time on either side, and somebody will schedule a meeting right butted up against it, and it makes for a very stressful morning or afternoon. So block off drive time. Everything you can block off, do that. If you are overwhelmed looking at a calendar that has every piece of time blocked off, then maybe have two calendars. Have one that's called, Jason time blocking, and the other one that's just your regular Jason calendar. And then you can turn it on and off so that you can see when you're scheduling which one, make sure your time blocking is all accounted for. Say yes to great things, not always to good things. Use your time blocking on your calendar. And then the biggest piece is stick to it. I have a tendency being a little bit, I love sleep. Who loves sleep? Raise your hand. I love sleep, and sometimes in the morning when I have something time blocked off at 7:30 or 8 o'clock that I feel is, well, I could miss that if I had to, I'll just hit the snooze button on the alarm and stay in bed an extra half hour. That's not a good thing to do necessarily, so that's not the way to do things either, just canceling things off. You really need to stick to your time blocking. Something I'm working on. If you made the commitment, follow through on the commitment. I feel like I've done a pretty good job of following through on my commitments, but of late, I've been so busy that a few little commitments have fallen off that I've just kind of, I can skip that and push it off to the side. So make sure you're sticking to that calendar once you're doing it, and even involve an accountability partner if you want. Talk to somebody and say, hey, here's access to my calendar. Check in with me periodically and ask me how I'm doing. Typically, that would be somebody like a business coach or a colleague or, a friend that you trust with that information. But sometimes accountability is key. I know it is for me at least. So that's all I had for today. I appreciate you checking in with the video. I hope this has been helpful. Say yes to great things, guys. You got a lot of great in you. And let's focus on saying yes to those things. Let's focus on time blocking, and then let's execute that time blocking with the help of an accountability partner. If you think this is helpful, do me a favor, hit share, send this around on your social media. I'd love to reach more people with the messages we're trying to put out there, and we will see you again on our next video.